Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers document that Grace Buckingham finally gave up the truth. She broke down and cried, without tears, after Dr. and wannabe detective John Finn Finnegan cracked the latest mystery. This version of Los Angeles, California, has seen an intense level of criminality through the soapy years. Generally, Deputy Chief Bradley Baker would be called in to handle the case. But not this time. Finn found Liam Spencer's cancer clear too miraculous. So, in a matter of time that could be counted in a handful of episodes, he developed a theory, confronted the main suspect, and forced her to confess. Viewers last saw Martin's character at the Cliff House. Deputy Chief Baker agreed to allow Will Spencer to wear a wire to entrap Luna Nozawa, and she did. But all went awry as Luna ripped off Will's shirt, revealing the electronic recording device on his chest. The likely ghost gun she purchased wasn't used, and Will was allowed to leave unharmed. Seeing the Deputy Chief, Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Electra Forrester Finn, and others sweat out Will's efforts was deeply daytime. But that outlandish sequence pushed the plot along toward Luna's perceived end-of-life storyline, with viewers later learning that her compassionate aunt had once again falsified death documents. Just as Lee Finnegan once did with Finn, she's keeping Luna alive without anyone's awareness. Sheila Carter sharp discovered Lee's crime when Finn was assumed dead, but replaying Sheila as the sleuth could be stayed. Instead, Finn's tenacity and his experience in once being in the same state as Luna now make him the more likely of the two characters to uncover this reality. Yet, Lee has experience as well. A greater storyline would have her keep Luna cloaked indefinitely, with no one learning what happened. That's a tricky scenario to pull off, with a threaded needle climax also needing Luna to claim responsibility for faking her death and not implicating Lee. So, Grace feared retaliation from the debt collectors who were after her ex-husband, Reese Buckingham. She didn't seek help from a colleague like Finn. Grace also didn't contact the police. Deputy Chief Baker would have been willing to contact the authorities in the jurisdictions where her daughters are as well. But the above actions wouldn't have prevented the Liam terminal tumor story from happening, and so Grace responded as she did. Justice would indicate that Creech's character may lose her medical license and possibly be put behind bars. But this is daytime. Those outcomes are far from certain. Los Angeles had seen its fair share of scandal, but what Grace Buckingham dropped on Liam Spencer one breezy afternoon made even the city's endless drama seem tame. It started at Il Giardino. Liam was sitting alone at the patio table, staring at his untouched iced tea, the tension in his jaw giving away the storm brewing beneath the surface. He'd been trying for days to piece together the missing fragments of a puzzle that involved Hope, Steffi, and a string of events that didn't add up. He expected a quiet lunch while he mulled over his suspicions. The woman was elegance personified, poised, deliberate in her steps, her eyes sharp, as if they saw far beyond the obvious. When she spotted Liam, she didn't hesitate. She crossed the patio, slid into the chair opposite him, and folded her hands. "Liam," she began, her tone unusually heavy. "There's something you need to know. Something I should have said weeks ago." He frowned. "If this is about Paris or Zend, It's not," she interrupted. Her gaze didn't waver. "It's about Finn. And about you." That made Liam's stomach knot instantly. Finn had already been a source of contention lately. His growing friction with Steffi, the uneasy connection with Sheila, and his inexplicable behavior during certain moments, it had all been gnawing at Liam. But Grace? How did she tie into it? "You've been asking the wrong people the wrong questions," Grace said, leaning in. "And Finn's been covering for someone." The truth is, she hesitated, scanning the patio like she was afraid of being overheard. Sheila Carter is not acting alone. And the evidence that went missing from Baker's office? Finn knows who took it. Liam's eyes widened. "Wait, what? You're saying Finn's involved in Sheila's mess?" Grace shook her head. "Not in the way you think. He's trying to protect someone. And I'm partly to blame. Liam felt his pulse spike. Grace, you can't just drop something like that on me. And what do you mean you're to blame? She exhaled sharply, her fingers curling around the edge of the table. Months ago, Finn came to me with a medical file. He wanted my professional opinion about a certain DNA test. I told him the results were inconclusive, but I also told him that exposing them could destroy a family. I thought I was protecting a patient's privacy. I didn't realize I was helping Sheila cover her tracks. Liam's mind reeled. So you knew there was questionable DNA evidence. And you told Finn to keep it quiet? Yes, Grace admitted, her voice low but firm. And that's why he's been dodging questions from Baker. He doesn't want to lie, but he doesn't want to betray my confidence either. The air between them thickened. Liam pushed back from the table, the metal chair screeching against the tile. Grace, do you have any idea what this means? If Finn's withholding evidence in an ongoing investigation, that's exactly why I'm telling you now, she cut in. You're persistent, Liam. You won't let go until you find the truth. And frankly, I think you're the only one who can convince Finn to hand over what he knows to Baker. Liam raked a hand through his hair, pacing. He'd suspected Finn of keeping secrets, but this admission changed everything. If Grace was telling the truth, Finn wasn't just a reluctant bystander. He was sitting on evidence that could finally nail Sheila. Finn was in the design office, flipping through Steffi's travel itinerary when Baker himself appeared at the door. There. Finnegan, Baker greeted, stepping inside. Got a minute? Finn straightened, masking his nerves. Of course. What's going on? I'm still chasing down that missing evidence from Sheila's case, Baker said, eyes narrowing slightly. Word is, you might know more than you're letting on. Finn's throat tightened. I've told you everything Before he could finish, Liam stormed in. No, you haven't. And we're done playing this game, Finn. Steffi appeared in the doorway behind Liam, confusion etched across her face. What's going on? Ask your husband, Liam said, glaring at Finn. Grace Buckingham just told me you've been sitting on a DNA test that could connect Sheila to another accomplice. You knew, Finn. And you didn't say a word. Baker's voice cut through the tension. Doctor, I suggest you answer before I have to start considering obstruction charges. Finn's jaw flexed. It's not that simple. The DNA test was incomplete. Grace thought releasing it would cause unnecessary damage. I agreed. At the time. At the time? Liam pressed. What about now, when Sheila's running free and people are still in danger? That test could link her to whoever's helping her. This isn't just about protecting reputations anymore. It's about stopping her before she hurts someone else. Finn's eyes dropped to the floor. He knew Liam was right. And yet, the thought of betraying Grace's trust gnawed at him. He wasn't a cop. He was a doctor. But maybe, just this once, he needed to step outside the boundaries of medicine and into the messy world of justice. Steffi stepped closer. Finn, if you know something that could keep our family safe, you have to tell Baker. Please. It was the word family that finally broke Finn's resolve. He looked up at Baker. The file's on my laptop. I'll email it to you tonight. But I'll warn you, the results are messy, and the match is partial. That's all I need, Baker said, already pulling out his phone to alert his team. We can work with partial. Later that evening, Finn sat on the Cliff House patio, staring out at the waves. Steffi joined him, sliding her arm through his. You did the right thing, she said softly. I know, Finn replied. But Grace, she's not going to forgive me for this. She'll understand someday, Steffi reassured him. And if she doesn't, at least you'll know you put the truth first. Grace sat at the same table where she'd dropped her bombshell on Liam. She sipped her wine slowly, watching the sunset with a mix of relief and dread. She had no doubt Finn would give Baker the file now. The question was, would the results bring the case to a close, or open an even bigger can of worms? Something told her the latter. Because if the partial DNA match was correct, the person helping Sheila wasn't just some faceless accomplice. It was someone the Forresters already knew. Someone who had been in their homes, shared their meals, and smiled in their faces. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.